Welcome to NT Coins World, the ultimate destination for coin enthusiasts and collectors. Today, we're diving into some of the most fascinating Lincoln pennies that you might already have in your pocket without realizing their hidden value. These coins tell stories of history, craftsmanship, and rarity, and some are worth far more than their face value. Whether you're a beginner collector or a seasoned numismatist, these coins are sure to catch your attention. Get ready as we explore the top 4 Lincoln pennies that every collector dreams of owning. Imagine the year is 1959. The world is buzzing with post-war optimism. The space race is heating up, and the United States is celebrating the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. In honor of this momentous occasion, the U.S. Mint made a bold change that would forever distinguish the 1959 penny from every other Lincoln cent before it. This was the year that the reverse design of the Lincoln cent was completely redesigned for the first time since its introduction in 1909. Gone was the simple wheat stalk motif. In its place stood a dignified and powerful Union shield, symbolizing strength and unity of the nation that Lincoln himself fought to preserve. The 1959 Lincoln penny in fine condition offers a tangible piece of this incredible history. When you hold it, imagine the conversations around dinner tables in 1959, the pride of Americans seeing this new coin enter circulation, and the collectors of the era who instantly recognized its significance. But let's break it down and truly understand what makes this coin exceptional. The obverse, the front of the coin, features the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln, sculpted by Victor David Brenner. It's a design first introduced in 1909 to commemorate Lincoln's 100th birthday and has endured for over a century. The word liberty stands proudly beside Lincoln's portrait, and the motto, "In God We Trust," arches above his head. On the right, you'll find the date, 1959. In fine condition, this date remains readable and clear, though the high points of Lincoln's cheek and jawline may show gentle wear, evidence that the coin lived in everyday circulation but survived the decades with dignity. Now let's flip it over and gaze upon the Union shield. This design consists of 13 vertical stripes representing the original states, tied together with a horizontal bar symbolizing Congress. Above the shield, an eagle spreads its wings, holding the scroll inscribed with 1 cent. The words United States of America curve proudly around the top. It's a design rich in symbolism, reminding us that the nation, forged through adversity, stands united. When considering the mintage of the 1959 Lincoln penny, it's impressive. Billions were produced at 2 different U.S. mint facilities. The Philadelphia Mint struck approximately 1.8 billion coins, and the Denver Mint produced roughly 1.4 billion. That means over 3.2 billion 1959 pennies entered circulation. A staggering number that makes this coin common in everyday change, but deceptively rare in fine collectible grades today. Most pennies that circulated for decades show far more wear or were lost entirely. So why is the 1959 Lincoln penny in fine condition so desirable? The answer lies in its survival rate and collector appeal. Coins graded as fine show moderate wear on the high points, but maintain clear details in the lettering and major design elements. For a coin that spent years in pockets, cash registers, and coin jars, finding one with solid detail, clear date, and preserved shield lines is a treat. Collectors prize these coins not just for their age, but for their beauty and historical resonance. Market value for the 1959 Lincoln penny in fine condition has appreciated significantly over the years. While face value is just 1 cent, the collector value in fine grade often ranges higher, depending on market demand, silver content sentiment, even though pennies aren't silver, and overall condition. As of the latest numismatic price guides, a 1959 Lincoln penny in fine condition typically trades between 30 cents and $1.50, occasionally higher if the strike quality is superior or if it has exceptional eye appeal. Coins with deep, rich color and minimal contact marks can command up to $3 or more at auction among dedicated Lincoln cent collectors. But the excitement doesn't stop with just grade and value. Let's talk about errors and varieties. While the 1959 penny doesn't have the high-profile double dies or rare mint errors of some other years, collectors still search for subtle anomalies like off-center strikes, doubled letters on the date or motto, and repunched mint marks on Denver pieces. Any of these variations can add a premium because they tell a unique story about how the coin was struck and the quirks of the minting process. Collector interest in the 1959 Lincoln penny is rooted not only in its history, but in its symbolism. It represents a transition, America reflecting on its past while boldly looking toward the future. Many collectors choose this coin as a centerpiece for Lincoln cent collections, registry sets, or as a teaching tool for new numismatists learning to grade coins. In fact, the 1959 cent often appears in educational series because its design change marks such a clear historical milestone. Even beyond that, the 1959 penny carries personal stories. Grandparents may remember finding them in their childhood, or perhaps you discovered one in your pocket change and wondered about its story. That connection between personal experience and national history is what makes coins like this so powerful. Now let's shift our attention to details many enthusiasts overlook. The edge. Lincoln pennies, including this 1959 issue, have a smooth edge, unlike quarters or dimes with reeded edges. At first glance, this might seem insignificant, but the smooth edge is part of the design continuity dating back to 1909. When grading a fine-condition coin, examining the edge can help confirm authenticity and detect cleaning or improper handling that might affect the coin's grade. Another aspect to consider is the strike quality. In 1959, the U.S. Mint was transitioning to new dies for the shield design. Some coins were struck with sharper details than others. Look at the Lincoln's hair, the shield's stripe lines, and the clarity of the lettering. In fine condition, these features should still be visible, even if slightly softened from wear. A well-struck fine coin will always be more valuable than a poorly struck one. Finally, let's talk about why this coin deserves a place in your collection. The 1959 Lincoln penny connects you to a pivotal moment in American numismatic history. It bridges the venerable tradition of the Lincoln cent with the modern design era. In fine condition, it preserves tangible links to the past, words, faces, symbols, and metal that passed through countless hands yet still tells its story. Now, fast forward 12 years to 1971, a time of cultural transformation and national change. We introduced the 1971 Lincoln penny in fine condition, a coin that captivates collectors with its historic context, unique mint mark, and the subtle characteristics that have made it a staple in Lincoln cent collections around the world. The year 1971 was a time of dynamic social evolution. The Vietnam War was winding down, the space program was advancing, and America was undergoing cultural shifts that would define a generation. Against this backdrop, everyday coins, pennies included, continued to serve as silent ambassadors of American heritage. The Lincoln cent, already more than 6 decades old, was by 1971 a reassuring constant in the ever-changing world of currency. This particular coin was struck at the San Francisco Mint, designated by the S Mint mark. During the early 1970s, San Francisco primarily produced coins for collectors and proof sets, making business strike coins from this facility less common than those from Philadelphia or Denver. This adds an intriguing layer of desirability when you find a 1971 penny in fine condition. It's not just another coin, it's a piece of collector history. Just like the 1959 issue, the obverse of the 1971 Lincoln penny features Victor David Brenner's timeless portrait of Abraham Lincoln. By 1971, this portrait had been on U.S. cents for over 6 decades and had become synonymous with the American penny. The words "In God We Trust" hold steadfast at the top, liberty stands to the left, and the date, 1971, sits proudly on the right, accompanied by the tiny, yet significant, S Mint mark just below the date. Now flip the coin over, and you'll see the Union Shield reverse design that was introduced in 1959. Although the design had been in use for over a decade by this point, it still carried powerful symbolism. Each element of the shield spoke of unity and strength, values that resonated deeply with a nation looking to the future yet grounded in its foundational principles. One of the first things collectors notice about a 1971 Lincoln penny in fine condition is the quality of the strike. San Francisco Mint coins, especially those intended for proof sets, were often struck with great care. As a result, even business strike coins from the S Mint can exhibit sharper details than their counterparts from other mints. In fine condition, you should still see clear definition in Lincoln's hair and beard, the lettering on both sides, and the lines of the shield on the reverse. Wear is present, yes, but the design remains unmistakable and distinguished. Let's talk about mintage. The 1971 S. Lincoln penny had a significantly lower mintage compared to Philadelphia or Denver issues. While exact figures vary depending on sources and the classification of business versus proof strikes, it's clear that far fewer 1971 S business coins were released into circulation. Many of the San Francisco coins were intended for collectors directly and were distributed in mint sets rather than loose change. This makes finding a true business strike 1971 S penny in fine condition particularly exciting for collectors. Market value for a 1971 S Lincoln penny in fine condition reflects this desirability. Whereas a common 1971 penny from Philadelphia or Denver might sell for a modest premium over face value, the S mint mark commands attention. In today's market, a 1971 S Lincoln penny graded fine typically ranges from $1 to $5, though exceptional pieces with superior eye appeal can exceed these figures. In comparison with other Lincoln cents, this is a strong value proposition for collectors looking to complete specialized date and mint mark sets. Errors and varieties in the 1971 S series are also a point of interest. Collectors search for double die obverse or reverse varieties, off-center strikes, and striking anomalies such as die cracks or planchet imperfections. While none of these errors are exceedingly rare for this year, they add layers of excitement to the hunt. A 1971 S penny with a clearly visible double die on the obverse, for example, can bring a premium because it tells an unusual, serendipitous story about how that coin came into being. Collector interest in the 1971 S Lincoln penny is driven not just by its place in numismatic series, but by the deeper story it carries. Coins from the S mint are a reminder of the artistry and craftsmanship that go into minting, even for everyday currency. This coin is also a favorite among those who specialize in Lincoln cents by mint mark, as well as those who pursue complete annual sets from each facility. When evaluating a 1971 S Lincoln penny in fine condition, experienced collectors pay close attention to the date and mint mark clarity, the overall wear pattern, and the luster remaining on the surfaces. Fine grade indicates moderate wear, but it should still retain essential details that make the design legible and aesthetically appealing. The rim might show wear, and the fields may have small nicks, but the personality and character of the coin shine through. Finally, the emotional and educational value of owning a 1971 S Lincoln penny should not be underestimated. Hosting this coin in your collection means preserving a piece of 20th century American history, a coin that witnessed pivotal cultural shifts, economic changes, and the everyday lives of countless people who used it as currency. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just beginning your journey into coin collecting, the 1971 S Lincoln penny in fine condition stands as a testament to the enduring allure of Lincoln cents. Its connection to a specific mint, its unique place in numismatic history, and its appeal to collectors around the globe make it a must-have piece for any serious collection. So remember, when you hold this coin in your hand, you're not just holding metal, you're holding decades of history, artistry, and American pride. The year 1964 was a powerful moment in American history. The nation was in transition, facing social change, economic growth, and deep historical shifts. It was the final year before major changes in U.S. coinage composition began to take shape, especially as rising metal prices created concern for the future of circulating coins. The Lincoln cent, first introduced in 1909, had already become the longest-running portrait on U.S. currency by this time, and in 1964 it remained a familiar companion in every American pocket. When you hold a 1964 Lincoln penny in fine condition, you're holding a coin that lived through one of the most active eras of circulation in U.S. history. These pennies were produced in enormous numbers because demand for small change was high. Millions of Americans were shopping, traveling, and using cash daily, and pennies changed hands constantly. That heavy use is exactly why finding one in fine condition today is so meaningful. The obverse of the 1964 Lincoln penny features the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln faces right, his his expression calm and resolute, reflecting strength, unity, and leadership. Above his head is the motto, "In God We Trust," a phrase that gained even more significance during the Cold War era. To the left is the word liberty, and to the right, the date 1964. In fine condition, these elements remain clear and readable. Lincoln's facial details show moderate wear, especially on the cheek and jawline, but his profile remains strong and instantly recognizable. Turning to the reverse, the 1964 penny still carries the iconic Lincoln Memorial design, first introduced in 1959. The memorial stands centered, detailed with visible columns, and if the coin is well preserved, you can still see the tiny seated statue of Lincoln inside the memorial. Surrounding it are the inscriptions "United States of America" and 1 cent, with "E pluribus unum" above. In fine condition, the memorial lines are softened by circulation, but the structure and lettering remain bold enough to impress collectors. Now let's talk about mintage, because this is where the 1964 Lincoln penny becomes especially fascinating. The Philadelphia Mint alone struck over 2.6 billion pennies in 1964, while the Denver Mint produced more than 3.7 billion. That brings the total to well over 6 billion coins, making it one of the highest mintage Lincoln cents ever produced. At first glance, that might make it seem common and uninteresting, but seasoned collectors know better. High mintage does not guarantee survival in collectible condition. Most of these coins were worn down, damaged, lost, or melted over time. Surviving examples in fine condition are far less common than the raw numbers suggest. Market value for a 1964 Lincoln penny in fine condition reflects steady collector interest. While it won't reach the dramatic prices of rare error coins, its value typically ranges from 25 cents to $1.50, depending on eye appeal, strike quality, and color. Pennies with strong original brown or red-brown tones often command a premium. Coins with attractive surfaces and minimal damage can exceed standard price guides, especially when sold to Lincoln cent specialists. Errors and varieties add another layer of excitement to the 1964 penny. Collectors search closely for doubled dies, especially on the obverse lettering and date. Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks are also known for this year. Even minor minting anomalies can significantly increase a coin's desirability and value. A well-documented doubled die or dramatic error can elevate a 1964 penny from a modest collectible to a highly sought-after treasure. Collector interest in the 1964 Lincoln penny is driven by more than just numbers and prices. This coin represents the end of an era, just before the U.S. Mint began exploring changes to metal compositions due to rising copper costs. It is also deeply tied to American daily life, having circulated during a time of great cultural transformation. For many collectors, this penny evokes memories of childhood coin jars, paper routes, and first discoveries in pocket change. A fine-condition 1964 Lincoln penny offers balance, affordability, history, and strong visual appeal. It's a perfect coin for beginner collectors building their first albums and for advanced collectors completing date-and-mint sets. Its story, its symbolism, and its lasting presence in American culture make it a cornerstone of Lincoln cent collecting. Now let's fast forward to the final decade of the 20th century and explore a penny that bridges tradition and modernity, the 1990 D. Lincoln penny in fine condition. While it may seem recent compared to earlier issues, this coin holds surprising importance in the Lincoln cent series and continues to gain appreciation among collectors who understand its context and potential. The year 1990 was a time of rapid global change. The Cold War was nearing its end, technology was accelerating, and the U.S. economy was shifting into a new era. Through all this change, the Lincoln penny remained a constant symbol of stability. By 1990, the Lincoln Memorial design had been in use for over 3 decades, and it was nearing the end of its long run before future redesigns would reshape the cent once again. The 1990 D. Lincoln penny was struck at the Denver Mint, identified by the D. Mint mark beneath the date. Denver minted coins are known for their solid strikes, and many 1990 D. pennies exhibit clear details even after years of circulation. In fine condition, the obverse portrait of Lincoln remains strong, with readable lettering and a well-defined outline. The wear is noticeable on Lincoln's hair and cheek, but the coin still presents a pleasing and balanced appearance. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stands tall once again. In fine condition, the steps and columns show some smoothing from circulation, but the overall structure remains intact. The inscriptions are crisp enough to read easily, and the central memorial remains the focal point. Coins with even wear and minimal surface damage are especially desirable, as they reflect careful circulation rather than abuse. Mintage numbers for the 1990 D Lincoln penny are significant, with the Denver Mint producing over 4.9 billion coins. This massive output ensured widespread circulation, but it also means most examples experienced heavy wear. Finding a 1990 D penny in fine condition that has avoided corrosion, deep scratches, or cleaning damage is more challenging than many people realize. In terms of market value, the 1990 D Lincoln penny in fine condition typically ranges from 20 cents to $1, with higher prices possible for coins with exceptional eye appeal or attractive color. While modest, these values reflect consistent collector demand, especially among those completing modern Lincoln cent collections. Coins that display strong original luster remnants or rich copper color often sell above average market prices. Errors and varieties play a crucial role in boosting interest in the 1990 D penny. Collectors search for doubled dies on the obverse, particularly in the date and lettering. Die cracks, cuds, and off-center strikes are also known. While major errors are less common, they do exist, and when discovered, they can dramatically increase a coin's value and excitement factor. Collector interest in the 1990 D Lincoln penny continues to grow as more people explore modern-era coins with fresh eyes. As earlier Lincoln cents become more expensive, collectors are turning their attention to later dates that still offer affordability and discovery potential. The 1990 D penny represents the final years of the Lincoln Memorial design era, adding historical significance to its appeal. This coin is also popular among collectors who enjoy searching rolls and circulation finds. Many enthusiasts begin their numismatic journey with coins like the 1990 D penny, learning how to grade, identify errors, and appreciate subtle design details. In fine condition, it serves as a perfect example of how even modern coins can hold value beyond face value. Owning a 1990 D Lincoln penny in fine condition means owning a piece of recent American history, one that reflects economic change, technological progress, and the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln. It reminds collectors that every era produces coins worth studying, preserving, and appreciating. Together, the 1964 and 1990 D Lincoln pennies tell a powerful story of continuity, change, and the enduring charm of America's smallest denomination.